Hello, good morning, everyone. Oh, great to see all of you. It has indeed been a really long time since we've been able to meet like this. Shipping is on the verge of a clean energy revolution. To set the global maritime industry on a climate-aligned course and meet the goals of the Paris Agreement, zero-emission vessels need to be the dominant and competitive choice by the end of this decade. Those were the words of Joanna Christensen, CEO of the Global Maritime Forum, upon the launch of the zero-emission shipping mission, part of Mission Innovation, earlier this year. This mission works towards having 200 ships operating net zero carbon fuels, constituting 5% of global shipping's total fuel consumption by 2030. Here in Denmark, a national climate strategy has brought big industry sectors together, exploring commonalities and discovering mutual synergies. Denmark has also introduced a cut-off date of 2050 for oil and gas extraction in the North Sea and cancelled all future licensing rounds. Since then, large projects involving offshore energy islands and land-based power-to-X factories have been announced. Maritime transport is not alone in the energy transition. On the contrary, without upstream and cross-sectoral collaboration, it will not succeed. While we think that we represent a large industry, it's perhaps sobering to realize that we, in a regional or national context, are in most cases not able to provide sufficient demand for zero-carbon fuels to pay for the next offshore wind project. Further to that, collaborative approaches are needed across the value chain to share risk and reward. Ship owners have currently very few options. Last week, the World Bank loudly denounced LNG as a viable fuel to battle climate change. This, while an expanding order book contains almost 30% LNG fuel-capable tonnage. It will take time before we can pick and choose among the low-carbon or zero-carbon fuel options. We're battling several chicken and egg situations at the same time. And to many, this is indeed exhausting. When will the engines be ready? When will the fuel be available? At what quantities? At what price? At what port? We are all looking for answers, and we are short of time. The Energy Transition Commission identified in their first wave report a blueprint for commercial-scale zero-emission shipping pilots that a shift to green ammonia or methanol could more than treble the costs of a zero-emission ship pilot, while the cost impact to the end consumer would be minimal, of less than 1%. This report suggests that with targeted measures, the fuel cost could be almost halved, and the utilization of existing infrastructure and public support for the building of the vessel could further bring the costs down. While this is promising, the report concludes that this will still not be enough to bridge the cost gaps. So for the successful scaling of zero-emission vessels by 2030, the Energy Transition Commission suggests that a green premium will be necessary. And for that to be successful, fuel and emission transparency and traceability across fuel types' life cycles will be essential to de-risk first movers. Until fuel certificates are established and satisfactorily implemented, smart digital solutions will be essential to sufficiently boost the green transition. We will have to manage the situation for the next several years where we have innovation and development in parallel with piloting and deployment, where we still have many questions to be answered, but where we nevertheless need to make decisions to move forward. Smart digital solutions have many roles to play in helping to manage these uncertainties. Standards are needed in this complexity, but they will most likely not be the first thing that will be in place. Innovative solutions to manage information through these transitions can evidently play a very important role in unlocking barriers for first movers in this way. As the maritime industry has to focus to decarbonizing its own house, new interest about this mission is now coming from maritime customers and the wider stakeholder environment. Today, we are less than a month away from COP26 in Glasgow. At COP26, the Paris rulebook must be finalized. At COP26, shipping's responsibility and commitment to meet the Paris Agreement will be clarified. For this historically important event, a global call to action for shipping decarbonization has been issued by the Getting to Zero Coalition, and which has currently been signed by over 160 industry leaders and organizations representing the entire maritime value chain, including shipping, cargo, energy, finance, ports, and infrastructure. They call on governments to commit to decarbonizing international shipping by 2050 and to support industrial-scale zero-emission shipping projects through national action, and for governments to deliver policy measures that will make zero-emission shipping the default choice by 2030. Governments have a very big role to play to enable the energy shift. However, in order for them to be able to put the right policy measures in place, they need help to navigate that very same complexity that also we are faced with. As representatives from across shipping value chains are now gathering around initiatives like the Global Call to Action, there is an inherent opportunity for increased data sharing and collaboration to support fact-based policy making. This can be further enabled by the industry itself stepping towards regulators to offer insight, instead of simply demanding action and perhaps then contesting policy proposals. Such initiative can potentially reduce the time required to develop these important regulations and make such regulations far more efficient and indeed reduce associated costs. When the likes of H&M, IKEA, Trafigura, the commodity trader and operator, or Dow, the chemicals company, are increasingly engaging collaboratively with their service providers to explore joint possible pathways for improved sustainability, rather than dictating requirements, we have an emerging environment where shipping can play a wider strategic role in the global energy transition. As shipping explores access to future fuels, investing in novel ship types, and committing to establishment of green fuel infrastructure, and developing access points across the world, the industry is also, to some part, writing the global energy transition map. And while shipping is focusing on its own footprint, value chain collaboration can help unlock opportunities for wider ESG impact. Smart digital solutions can therefore open up a whole new space of value creation for our industry. Shipping is not alone out there on the seven seas. The ocean economy became a conceptual idea for our industry, essentially with the OECD's 2016 report, The Ocean Economy in 2030. While this report laid out the ocean as a new economic frontier, it also made it crystal clear that our ocean is a shared global resource, and that a thriving ocean economy can only become reality through cross-industrial collaboration and heightened attention to sustainability. 2021 marks the start of the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development. The science we need for the ocean we want is its all-encompassing vision. Its mission is transformative ocean science solutions for sustainable development, connecting people and our ocean. A healthy ocean considers all of us. Without it, we cannot exist. Smart maritime solutions have roles to play also here. The Ocean Decade wants to understand and beat ocean pollution. It wants to develop a sustainable and equitable ocean economy. It wants to expand the global ocean observing system. It wants to create digital representations of our ocean and deliver ocean data, knowledge, and technology to all. Shipping is an essential enabler for global trade. Through smart digital solutions and cross-sectoral collaboration, it can also be an essential enabler for data-driven ESG. Smart maritime networks can explore paths which can bring us through the energy transition faster, bringing our entire stakeholder ecosystem with us on the way. Such networks can help reduce risks for greener investments and prepare for more fact-based decision-making through sharing and connecting of data in a time where we are aflush with information noise. We, at the global level, have unprecedented challenges to solve, but we also have unprecedented ability to gather and employ data. Properly employed, our digitized tools can be the predominant force towards a sustainable future. Copenhagen and Denmark are at the helm, steering maritime climate ambitions. Pioneering startups and spin-offs, novel financing protocols, symbiotic transport clusters, and a groundbreaking decarbonization center are just part of the evidence that Copenhagen is almost boiling over with green maritime innovation and climate value creation right now. So, you are all in the right place. The Smart Maritime Network has returned to Copenhagen. It's with immense pleasure and gratitude I would like to finally call the 3rd annual SMN Copenhagen Forum opened.